Greetings and welcome to Daily Driver here with myself, Bass Driver on Paine's Games, where I have just finished a 2.5 hour watch along when Jaffe met Ali, and it was all for naught. It was all for naught. As you may have recalled from yesterday's video, we've been getting battered by Storm Eowyn, and it still continues. We've had some power outages, and that has had some effects on my various setups. And whilst my recording setup was all good to go, I neglected to double check my live streaming setup, and there was some errant feedback through the whole 2.5 hour video. And of course, I hadn't necessarily thought to have a tablet or something next to me just to check the audio whilst I was live. So I literally just subjected myself to terminal brain rot for 2.5 hours for your benefit, only for it to be a garbled mess. I do apologise. It is entirely my fault. Like I say, the storm has put me back a little. I had hoped to have more videos sort of in the bag to just release throughout the week, so I could have a more leisurely live streaming schedule, because I'm hoping to do a bit more live streaming. Now, I did do the RGAs obviously last week, but that was on Twitch. Excuse me while I have a sip of tea to calm my nerves. Yes, I did that on that other purple pitch place, but this time I am on YouTube, which is where hopefully I'm actually mainly going to be honest. I was looking through like some of the aspects of Twitch. It's there really more just for game streams, I think, if anything, but pretty much all my content is going to be here, I think. Again, I'm getting old, okay? Too many of these things all at one time. Things get confuzzled, and you never know, I might go live with audio feeding back for no good reason. So what's the purpose of this video then? Well, it's firstly to apologise for that. Thank you so much to the people that did tune in. I did see you come in briefly, like in the few seconds I was looking at the screen before going back to watching these two, David Jaffe and Alyssa Mercante, doing their interview. Now, honestly, there's been a lot of coverage on this. I said this in the live stream itself. I'm just going to give you a bit of a summary here, because I'm not doing it again. Like, first and foremost, I'm sorry people, but I am not watching this thing again. Excuse me a second. Pardon me, just clear my throat. Yeah, I'm not watching this thing again. I can't do it. And now I try to be the most balanced and central person, rational I can, but there were some things that really did irk me in there. It's, again, what you expect. I don't think you're going to find anything particularly surprising in there. Personally, I just found it reasserting opinions and views that some people may have had. She certainly doesn't, in my humble opinion, as an objective observer, I do not think she helps her case against Smash JT in this video at all. I did sort of mention that in the actual live stream. I am not a lawyer. I have no legal experience whatsoever, so this is no way legal advice. But if I were her lawyer, and I've seen who I think allegedly her lawyer is, and I think this is why they're letting them get away with this, I did say in the live stream, I wouldn't be surprised if their lawyer maybe tries to use this as some sort of platform, maybe, possibly, if who's reported to be their lawyer, or at least the photo I've seen, turns out to be actually they. But, yeah, like, there's aspects that they go into here that I do feel could potentially come back to bite her in the ass, and yeah, that's of her own doing. I'll also say this as well, let's try not to mock the afflicted too hard. There are points in it where she alludes to potentially having some history that is not of the greatest sort of personal, elements. I'm trying to be careful here, again, being on YouTube, but like, she's put up with some things, she's been through some stuff. And like, she apparently is currently also under counselling, which did advise her to get off of social media. So again, this does sound like someone that has a bit of an OCD issue. I will 100%, like, narcissism is rife on both sides in this video. Jaffe and Mercante equally. As I said in the live stream, I am aware of Jaffe. I grew up with Jaffe, like, essentially he's not the same age as me, but he's not that far off. I think he's equivalent to my brother's age, and he's 11 years older than me. Okay, but I grew up in the age of Jaffe, you could say, you know, through Twisted Metal and God of War, and like I said in the live stream, he's always been this opinionated. He has always been this aggressive. He has always stood like heavy ground whenever going up against people, and as I alluded to in the video, the live stream, like that was his selling point. That was actually his selling point. Like, that's why I believe they had him on board, because bear in mind, we're talking about an era that included like the sort of culture of the WWE Attitude Era. Yeah, he fitted in with all of that attitude. So it kind of did sell the product, but he wasn't afraid to have a balk at the industry itself and other people within the industry. And I genuinely believe that's part of the reason that he's doing this with Alyssa, rather than you know, actually working in the industry full time. You know, like I genuinely believe that he has opened his mouth enough times to piss off the wrong people that, you know, he ain't getting no work. And honestly, I could say I'm probably in a similar boat. You know, I've stood up and said things that I genuinely believe, you know, for example, we should be getting paid like better than minimum wage. For example, that's going to get you in trouble. Yeah, it's going to get you in trouble. Problem is, his target has changed now, you know, and now it's targeting, like, you know, people who, anyone that opposes their values. And so, I mean, really, this thing, it doesn't talk about games a lot. Like, if you're looking for them talking about gaming a lot, there's not a lot in it. It really is about her background, growing up in Long Island, in the suburbs with cop parents, which again starts screaming to me of middle class, upper middle class upbringing, and you're sort of trying to be really virtuous of all of those around you, but while you're doing it, you're kind of not actually doing it. You're actually causing potentially more harm than good. They talk about access, the access media, and again, it's that element of, well, you know, she says she'll kowtow to that access media because it means she keeps working. This is how these things perpetuate, you know, and if people keep on kowtowing to it, it will just keep happening. Now, I do have a proper scripted video coming up this week, hopefully, if the storm allows, you know, called Grubby, A Tale of Two Jeffs, and this is in person, you know, incredibly relevant to what they talk about in this. So I might like refer back to that, you know, that interview with Alyssa in that, because like I say, I'm not watching this again. It's just, over here in the UK, we have this Prime Minister, right? And like, apparently back in the day, he went abroad and went to a Marxist camp or some such. This is kind of like listening to a couple of the students from that Marxist camp. I mean, the very beginning of this video is also like listening to a pair of college students talking about their smoke, if you get my drift. Like, this whole thing from start to finish, I felt as if I was in the common room back at college, you know, doing my hires or whatever, you know. There's so little of intellectual content to really talk about. That's why I don't think I'm going to ramble too much further here. Yeah, I'm just going to, like, I wish he'd been there for the actual stream, but obviously that hasn't happened, that hasn't worked. But honestly, the summarization of it is that we are talking about two people here who are in a position of privilege, who are people who, if they didn't come from a middle class position and start there, then they've certainly earned their way to it, maybe to an upper middle class. This video, in my opinion, strengthens what I said yesterday in my video about Elon Musk and Alana Pierce, who they do refer to in that interview. Like, the aspect of buying your way up. I mean, like, Alyssa straight up at one point, like, kind of justifies it, and both David and Alyssa, it shouldn't be a problem if you have exchanged certain acts, let's say, to get to where you are, as long as you make a good game, you know. Like I say in the live stream, if I was a marketing manager or anyone involved in the company, I'd be like, well, hold on a second, that could bite us in the ass potentially in the long run, you know, because you may alienate a huge segment of your market. And I think this is one of the key fundamentals that I'll take away from this, is that everything they say in this interview, it is so contrarian. It is all about subverting the way things are normally done. There are an awful lot of sort of morally questionable statements made in this video. There's one point at which Jaffe talks about a boyfriend of his daughter in such a callous and throwaway fashion. That poor person is no longer with us, and this guy, the way he callously just discards like the statement about that whole situation, that is quite shocking. That's like one of the extremes that I'm getting at with this video. Like, none of it is satisfying, none of it is savory, none in my mind, honestly. Like, all of it just sounds like exactly why the industry is in the position it's in, why so many other industries are in the position they're in. It is vindication, I would say, of an awful lot of what I said yesterday in my video about Elon and Lana, and more things that I will have to say in videos to come, including Grubby, A Tale of Two Jeffs, where I will go into this whole Access Media thing, and I will look at, what we're looking at today isn't new. This thing's been going on since way back in 2006. They do mention GameSpot even in the Mercante Jaffe interview. It will cover that. Okay, so keep your eyes open for that. I'm not going to talk much more about this, like, specifically. Like I say, the stream flopped. I'm sorry about that. Apologies to everyone. I have fixed the problem now. I've just checked. I've definitely fixed the problem. I will try to do some more streaming to make up for it. I was hoping to do a Dangerous Driver where I play some Elite Dangerous, and possibly a Night Driver where I play just a random video game that I'm going to play through. I was going to do Ninja Gaiden 2, funnily enough, before they even announced the remake, but VAR was doing that at the moment, so I'll pick something. Maybe Poi Poi 2. I was playing that the other day. I kind of fancy playing through that again. But yeah, so keep your eyes open for Grubby, A Tale of Two Jeffs, and any other videos that I'll have going up on Daily Driver. Apologies again for Backseat Driver not being here, but hey, I've given you the summary. You didn't miss much. Don't worry about it. I've got things fixed going forward. I really do appreciate all of you that did try to tune in, and I'll appreciate those of you that forgive that failure and come back. I hope to see you all then. But for now, thanks for watching. If you do like the content, then please do leave a like and comment. If not, leave a dislike. It's up to you. That's absolutely cool. But please do consider liking, subscribing, commenting, and most importantly, hit that notification bell for notifications of any further content, which I guarantee will not have looping back audio on it. I've been Bass Driver from Paine's Games. Take care out there. Thanks a lot. I'll catch you in the next one.